Hi, my name's Karen Kolbe, and I like to read. I especially like to read fairy tales, Mother Goose stories, and poems, and golden books. I also like to pretend. I like to pretend to be Mother Goose, and I'm sort of dressed like Mother Goose would be dressed. This is my friend. This is Feathers. Feathers is my puppet. He goes with me wherever I go. Boys and girls, the first thing I'm going to read is The Sly Fox and the Little Red Hen. Sly means sneaky, so this is the sneaky fox and the little red hen. Once there was a little red hen who lived by herself in the woods. She had a compact little house, which she kept very clean. Her house kept her warm in the winter and safe at night from the sly fox who lived nearby with his mother. One morning, the little red hen went into the woods to collect some sticks for her fire. She worked hard, and pretty soon she had a large bundle to carry home. But she didn't know that the sly fox had been watching her all this time. When he saw the little red hen was ready to go home, he quickly ran ahead of her and slipped into the little house. In a flash, he had hidden himself behind the little red hen's strong front door. The little red hen hurried up the steps to her house and carried her sticks inside. But the moment she shut the door, the sly young fox jumped out at her, squawking with terror. The little red hen flew up to the roof and perched there on one of the rafters. She thought she would be safe there. The sly fox laughed to himself. You can't escape from me so easily, little red hen, he said, and he began to behave in a very strange way. Whatever is he doing? Said the little red hen to herself, as the fox chased his own tail around and around the room. She watched and watched until she became so dizzy she dropped right off of her perch. Of course, that was just what the little red fox had planned. He picked up the little red hen and popped her into a sack that he had brought with him. You'll make a very fine dinner for my mother and me, he said, as he tied up the sack and set off back to his den in the woods. The little red hen kept very quiet in the sack. She was thinking hard and wondering if she would soon have a chance to escape. Here's a picture of the sly fox right here and the little red hen. And here is the fox chasing his tail around the table, around and around and around. Let's see what happens. Pretty soon, the fox became tired after all his watching and waiting and chasing. He laid down near some rocks and went to sleep. When she heard him snoring, the little red hen pecked at her bag and made a hole up near the top, one just big enough for her to escape. Then she quietly gathered some large stones up and put them into the sack. At last, she tiptoed away, and she ran all the way back to her snug little house. When the sly fox woke up, he set off once more. The little red hen feels even heavier than before, he said to himself. I hope my mother has a pot big enough to put boiling water on the stove to cook this tasty little bird. When he reached his den, the fox's mother was delighted. The water is boiling, my very clever boy, she said. Throw the hen in at once. The fox and his mother leaned over the pot of boiling water as he untied the sash. They turned it upside down. With an enormous splash, the stones all fell into the boiling water. The water splashed all over the two foxes and frightened them out of their lives. They limped away from the woods and were never seen again. The little red hen lived happily ever after. but she was always sure to lock her door when she went out. And here's a picture of the fox. And he had chased his tail so many times around the table that he fell asleep. Then remember, he took the little red hen home, and the little red hen got away. And here's a picture of the little red hen sitting in her warm little house, all comfortable and not afraid anymore. But she was going to remember to lock her door the next time she went out. Boys and girls, did you like that? I like that story. I like that story. And the little red hen got away, didn't she?